Alrighty. Well, it is Monday, the 22nd of April, 2024, and we are in Saigon, Vietnam, otherwise known as today Ho Chi Minh City. It's renamed after the Vietnam War ended in 75, Ho Chi Minh City. And we are taking a rickshaw ride, a rickshaw tour of the city, which was arranged by our tour guide, and it was originally a 29-minute rickshaw ride. Nobody would watch a video that long, so I sped it up by twice. And as we go along in this tour, I'm going to try and explain to you what markets we're passing by, because each street seemed to specialize in different stuff. And it's a little bit difficult going by at twice the speed normally to see exactly what it is that they're selling. But remember that Vietnam is now kind of a strange, weird mix of capitalism and communism. There's no private ownership of property, but I believe you can own things like cars, and you can own the apartment that you live in. You just can't own the land that it's on. And I heard something about 99-year leases versus 999-year leases. I'm not sure how all that works, but okay, here we go. On this street right here, this is hobbies, mostly aquariums. Over on the right-hand and left-hand side, every once in a while you see a bunch of tanks with lights in them. There were hundreds of aquarium shops with all different kinds of fish in them. And none of the fish are big enough to eat, so I'm sure they were all pets. This is like Aquarium Street. Now, what you're going to notice is there are no signals, no stoplights, and somehow people seem to get along. We had 8 rickshaws in a row. I was in the first one, and Grandma was behind me, and we squeeze through small openings. We go right out into oncoming traffic, and a couple times I was sure we'd get there's a light, but not very many of those. There's an electric light store right there. Looks like we're into some clothing and restaurants and stuff. So one of the things our guide told us was the tax rate on personal income from the communist government's 10%, and on business income it's 30%. So they do have a tax structure that somehow taxes all this capitalism that's going on, people selling stuff. Cars are too expensive for most people to own, so most people have scooters. As you could see, they're all over the place. And I have no idea how they chose the route that we took, but this rickshaw is pedaled by one guy who's sitting in the bicycle seat behind the rickshaw seat that I'm sitting in. He spoke no English, and you could hear him yelling in Vietnamese a couple of places at other drivers and stuff. So I think we're coming up on there's a whole section of selling motorcycle parts. I'm sure you could buy any part you ever needed for any kind of motorcycle in this motorcycle area. This looks like it here. Rims, handlebars, fenders, everything you can imagine. There are some more rims. This is more motorcycle parts. I guess car parts in there too. Hard to tell. Then, yeah, more car and motorcycle stuff here. Up ahead, there was a guy delivering chickens, live chickens, in a cardboard box on the back of a motorcycle. We're in the chicken delivery. I'll see if I can point him out to you when I see him up there. Look at that. I thought I was going to get hit for sure. We did some interesting things today, and after we did this rickshaw tour, we were able to go to the iconic picture spot where the last helicopter left the top of the CIA headquarters building in Vietnam in 1975. So the war has been over for about 49 years now. But if you go look online, you'll see the very last helicopter lifted off the top of the CIA building, and we were able to go up there. It's now a building that's owned by the Communist government, but the tour guide we know, I think, slipped somebody some money and got us up in there for some pictures. So I have a separate video posted about that particular place. Here's a fabric street. There's lots of fabric on the right and left hand sides as we went up. All different kind of fabric stores. Looks like clothing stores.
Oh. Yeah. Yeah. Beautiful.
There's a temple up in the front straight ahead. We didn't stop there, but oh, look at that. Again, no idea how he chose this route, but I don't think we ever went on the same street twice. Up ahead, you're going to see there's an open air market with all kinds of fruits and vegetables. There's going to be a wet market, a meat market with all kinds of raw meat, fish, and all sorts of things. Okay. This looks like the hardware street. Mostly hardware stores, whatnot. And where they're selling in the meat market, they also sell fighting roosters. It's illegal, but they do it anyway. And so there was a whole section of stores that were selling live chickens and fighting roosters. This is hobbies. There was there were a bunch of beautiful kite stores back there. Awesome kites. Would love to have stopped and looked at those. Anyway, there's the chicken guy in front of me. He's got a box full of 2 live chickens right there.
Oh my goodness.
Now that building on the right there, I think it's a hotel and a casino. So, Lucky Palace. And I told our tour guide when we got done, there's really nothing more he could have done that would have been more interesting than taking this rickshaw tour of Saigon. Kind of see what. Now here's some toy stores on the right. There's a beer delivery truck there. Looks like more hardware and toys and stuff. And even though they don't have much in the way of traffic control, stop signs and signals and stuff, they seem to get along okay. Nobody absolutely insists on having the right of way, so I didn't see any accidents while we were there, although I felt like we're going to get in one ourselves a few times. All right, we're turning on to the open air market street here with every kind of fruit and vegetable you can imagine on both sides of the street, very narrow lanes. It's two-directional traffic with motorcycles and pedestrians and rickshaws. It was really colorful. Go down this section. Little traffic jam here. Somebody had to move their scooter out of the way so we could get through. Now we're going to turn off, and I think this is the meat market street here. Let's see.
Oh, the meat market. We are going to the meat market. The meat market.
Now, on this meat market, they had everything you can imagine in terms of fresh meat, cut, seafood as well, fish, all kind of sliced up and ready to go, along with live chickens and roosters, fighting roosters. So it was interesting. Our tour guide had another person on a motorcycle that took him along, and he'd be out in front of us and take pictures of us as we went by at several different locations. And when the last person came through, he'd get back on the motorcycle and get back out in front. You're going to see him up here on the right saying, we're stopping here, pull over. And he wanted a final picture of all eight rickshaws in a row parked.
That was amazing.
And I told him it was amazing, and nothing he could have done would have been more fun than that. It really was a good way to see Saigon.
Thank you.
So go take a look at the other video that I post on the iconic helicopter above CIA headquarters building.